Please adhere to YouTube's selected guidelines before viewing the content of this video. I do not encourage or condone any products, actions, or behaviors shown in this video. All videos are produced in a safe, professional, and controlled environment. Please do not attempt to replicate any actions performed during the video. All actions are performed by professionals.
Alright, so what is the best way to min-max your ROI on a pint of whiskey? That is a question that I've been thinking about for a couple months now, but was one that I really struggled to answer up until recently. A couple days ago, I finally came upon my answer to this question. I finally figured out what the best way to min-max your ROI on a pint of whiskey actually is. As such, I figured, hey, why not make a video discussing this topic and answering this question, and why not have a couple drinks while doing so? As such, today, I will be drinking a little bit of alcohol. I will be min-maxing my ROI on my pint of whiskey that I have with me today, and I will, in general, be answering the question posed by the title of this video much more so than not. But before I go ahead and answer the question posed in the title of this video, I do first off need to cover some precursory information. So, for example, what is an ROI? Well, an ROI is an acronym that stands for return on investment. This is generally used in stock trading terminology and stuff like that. If you buy a stock at one price and then it doubles in price, your return on investment is 100%. If you buy a stock for $2 and you sell it at $4, you have a 100% return on investment. That's what an ROI is. However, that's only in finance terms. And while ROI and finances are very interesting, and while retirement bank accounts and just retirement accounts in general, like 401ks and Roth IRAs and normal IRAs, they're all very cool, that's not what we're talking about during this video today. Today, we're talking about ROI, return on investment, in the setting of liquor and alcohol. So, what is the best way to define ROI when you think about it from a liquor and alcohol perspective? Well, I think there's a couple different ways to look at it. I think you could, in one way, just think about it, okay, what's the best way that I could get sloshed from my liquor for, well, the least amount of money and for the least amount of investment kind of thing. So basically, you buy a pint of whiskey, how much do you need to drink to get absolutely sloshed without any other costs? And I think that is a very reasonable way to look at ROI when it comes to liquor and alcohol as a whole. If you get really sloshed and you get really drunk from not spending a lot of money, you have a very low investment and you get a very high return on that low investment by getting really sloshed, that is a good ROI. However, for me personally, as someone who does not like getting super drunk or blackout drunk or just absolutely sloshed in the ditch, personally, I don't find that ROI sort of take to be what I really find to be the most relatable kind of thing. Personally, for me, my answer to the question, my answer and my definition to what ROI is from a liquor perspective is just general enjoyment from your liquor. The best way to min-max your ROI from your pint of whiskey is to enjoy it to the fullest extent and is to not waste a single drop. That's right. It's really as simple as that in all honesty. I thought about the answer to this question for months and months and months, and I just overcomplicated it time and time and time again in my head. But really, the simplest answer is the answer. The best way to min-max your ROI on a pint of whiskey or on any alcohol to begin with is to simply enjoy your alcohol in the way you want to and to enjoy it to the fullest extent and to not waste a single drop. If you invest $20 into a pint of the Maker's Mark Original Classic Whiskey and you enjoy it to the fullest extent and you feel like you got your $20 worth out of that pint, isn't that a pretty good ROI? And after all, there's a lot of different activities that cost more than $20 these days. I mean, like going out for dinner sometimes costs more than $20 these days. But let's say you buy this pint of whiskey and you enjoy it over a couple weeks. Compared to going out for drinks at a bar or something like that kind of thing, that is an insanely good ROI. Because if you go to a bar, you might get one drink and that's $20. Whereas with this one, well, Yes, it's only one bottle, but you can make a lot more than just one drink with this one bottle. My personal take, my personal thought process when it comes to min-maxing your ROI from a pint of whiskey is to simply drink your whiskey, drink your alcohol in a way that you see fit and in a way that you enjoy. And yeah, that's really my answer to the question, in all honesty. Now that I have answered what the best way to min-max your ROI on a pint of whiskey is, I do suppose I should probably go ahead and demonstrate exactly what I mean by, well, actually mixing myself up a drink that I enjoy a lot, and I should probably get to drinking and get to min-maxing my ROI on my pint of whiskey that I have with me today to showcase exactly what I mean by, well, if you enjoy it to the fullest extent, you have a good return on investment. So without further ado, let's go ahead and grab my glass I have right here, and let's go ahead and grab my Maker's Mark Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey Classic Variety. Let's go ahead and get it all opened up just real quick. And let's go ahead and pour some in my glass, just like that. I'm thinking that will do. And while I'm not going to be drinking my liquor straight today, my whiskey straight today, I do believe that there really is no wrong way to enjoy your liquor. However you enjoy your liquor, whatever your favorite way to enjoy your liquor, to enjoy your whiskey is the best way to get a good ROI on your, well, liquor. Frankly put, drinking it straight, if that's what you enjoy doing, is the best way to get an ROI on a pint of whiskey. And if you consider ROI to be just simply put getting sloshed, then I would have to say drinking straight probably is the best way to get a good ROI from your pint of whiskey, frankly put. But just for general enjoyment purposes, if your favorite way is to drink whiskey straight, then of course do that. But if you prefer a mixed drink, then of course do that instead. And for me personally, while I do enjoy drinking whiskey straight, and while I do enjoy drinking liquor straight, doing so is not my favorite way to drink liquor. And it's not my favorite way to drink whiskey in specific. I would have to say my favorite way to drink whiskey is to make up a little bit of a whiskey highball. As such, I'm going to be mixing some Wegmans lemon-flavored carbonated water into my whiskey that I've poured today. And I'm just going to be enjoying a little bit of a whiskey highball, if I do say so myself. Let's go and crack open my can real quick. And let's go ahead and pour in my drink just like that. Man, oh man, I am feeling like this is going to be some really good return on investment. I will acknowledge, because this is looking like an absolutely delicious whiskey highball. I do suppose, without further ado, should probably go ahead and take a sip, and I should probably go ahead and get to demonstrating exactly how I personally min-max my ROI from a pint of whiskey. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get to drinking, and let's go ahead and get to getting a buzz. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying? Ooh, that is nice. That is very nice. Man. I feel like I'm getting my money's worth already, frankly put. And really, I guess that's really another good way of describing how to min-max your ROI on a pint of whiskey or on any alcohol that you buy. As long as you feel like you got your money's worth, and you got your money's worth to the fullest extent, and you enjoyed yourself to the fullest extent, haven't you gotten a good ROI from your investment into that liquor? That's what I'm saying, at least. When I go to the liquor store, I'm not just buying whiskey. I'm investing in an experience, and I'm investing in enjoying some alcohol. When I go to the liquor store, I'm not just a buyer, I'm an investor. No complaints on my behalf. This is a good drink. I'm already starting to get a little bit of a buzz. I am very much a lightweight, which is definitely something that helps with ensuring that I get a good ROI from my different alcohols that I purchase. Feel like I got a burp. Excuse me. My goodness, that was an extremely satisfying burp. Definitely had a good ROI from that burp. I invested by drinking, by chugging a little bit of a carbonated alcoholic beverage, and then I got a good final product with that burp, I will admit. But excuse me. What was I about to say? Yes, I really do think tolerance does have an effect on the ROI of liquor that you may buy. Frankly put, if you are somebody that has an extremely high tolerance and it's like no matter how much liquor you drink, you never get a buzz and you never enjoy yourself to the fullest extent, you're gonna just in general quite possibly have a lower ROI than somebody with a lower tolerance who can enjoy less alcohol to a greater degree. So tolerance and just general enjoyment of the alcohol definitely does have a very large influence on min-maxing the ROI of the liquor you buy, and it's definitely something that, in my opinion, really definitely just shows that drinking in moderation might actually be the best way to get a good ROI. If you drink all the time and you have an extremely large alcohol tolerance kind of thing, and you struggle to get a really good return on investment on your liquor, maybe try going for a stronger liquor and you'll get a better ROI. That's what I'm saying. But always drink in moderation. Always drink in moderation. Safety first. Safety first. Alcohol poisoning is no joke. Ooh. Ooh. That was good. That was good. Absolutely no complaints on my behalf. That was a very satisfying first drink, if I do say so myself. And with that first drink, I really do feel like I have gotten good return on investment, frankly. But I poured in a little bit of whiskey, poured in a decent amount more of lemon-flavored carbonated water from Wegmans, and I feel like I have to burp. Maybe not. Maybe not. Not exactly sure. But what I do know is that with that first drink, I really do feel like I got an amazing ROI, frankly put. I enjoyed that first drink to the fullest extent. It was my first drink in around about, I would have to say, 24 hours. I haven't had any alcohol for the last 24 hours now. And it was just super satisfying, super good. I got a nice buzz from it. My ROI from that first drink was amazing, frankly put. Now, one other thing that I definitely do think is worth mentioning is the more you drink, the more you get drunk kind of thing. But does that lead to a flat ROI? Does that lead to a flat ROI, or does your return on investment kind of spike with the first drink and go down thereafter the more and more and more buzz you get? I think this really depends on the person, honestly. But for me personally, I find myself noticing a liquor flavor less when I get buzzed and when I am a little bit drunk kind of thing. I find myself able to enjoy drinking lower quality alcohol to a much higher degree. As such, it's something where I would have to say for the optimal return on investment, if you're somebody like me who can do that, who enjoys drinking lower quality alcohol with a more potent tinge to it when you're more buzzed rather than when you're not buzzed. If you're like me in that way kind of thing, I think the best way to make sure to ensure that you get a high ROI on your drinking sessions and on your whiskey and liquor in general, I would have to say start off with the high quality. I would have to say start off with the top shelf stuff, start off with the good stuff, enjoy your top shelf stuff at the very beginning kind of thing. And then once you've got like buzzed enough where you know you're like, okay, I don't really care what it tastes like anymore. I'm just drinking to drink now. I'm drinking to get a buzz. After that, you switch to the low quality stuff. And that's how you really ensure you get an insanely good ROI from your liquor experience, from your drinking experience. What we're talking about today, this is not just how to optimize your drinking experience. This is how to optimize your ROI, your return on investment on your liquor purchase. We as liquor enthusiasts, we as alcohol enthusiasts, we are not just alcohol enthusiasts. We are alcohol investors. Well, every time I go into the liquor store, as said, I'm not there as a buyer. I'm there as an investor. That's what I'm saying. Let's go ahead and get another drink going because I want a little bit more of a buzz. That's what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. little bit more than that, though. Man, and I gotta admit, I do have one other tip/trick on how to ensure that your ROI is a lot better than not. You know, when I'm drinking, sometimes I feel like something is missing. I'm just drinking, I've got the glass in my hand, I'm enjoying myself, I've got a buzz, but I feel like the buzz could be bigger than it is. But I'm like, man, I've already drank like 2 cups of alcohol. Like, I want more, but I don't want to rush myself kind of thing. I want to enjoy myself to the fullest extent. Rushing my alcohol experience will lead to a lower ROI, and I want to make sure that doesn't happen. There's got to be a way to pump up my ROI on my liquor without actually having to drink more liquor. Thing is, though, there is a way to do just that. This is a little known secret that alcohol companies and that everybody, excuse me, and that everybody does not want you to know about in general. But this is a little known secret. This, I'm about to say, is how to ensure you get an even higher ROI than you would have otherwise when you're drinking, but you don't even have to drink more alcohol. My answer? One of these. It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple, frankly put. You know, one of these, combined with a little bit of this, leads to a bigger buzz, leads to a higher ROI, leads to a higher enjoyment of the alcohol. You know, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying kind of thing. You know, having a little bit of a snack while you're drinking, I really do think it leads to a higher ROI, a higher return on investment from your liquor, frankly put, because this just exemplifies the entire experience. Excuse me. That's kind of my personal take. So, you know, as I am showcasing exactly how to get a really good ROI from your liquor experiences and from your pints of whiskey, today I figure I should probably have one of these to make sure I demonstrate everything fully, now shouldn't I? So, yeah, let's go ahead and do that real quick. That is nice. That is nice. Now, one thing I do need to do, I need to make sure I min-max my ROI on this video. Of course. So I need to make sure that I get a good thumbnail for this video. How do I want to get a good thumbnail? Something like this? Maybe? Or I could just do that. No. I don't think so. I'm not one for drinking straight out of the bottle, so I don't think that's going to be the best way to min-max my ROI for this liquor, so that's not something I will do. But what's the best way? I'm getting more words all jumbled up. I've got a little bit of a buzz going, you know what I'm saying? I really am min-maxing my ROI from my pint of whiskey today, but I'm just trying to think how to get a good thumbnail to make sure I min-max my ROI from this video as well, kind of thing. So how do I want to grab a good thumbnail? Something like this? I'm not sure. Or maybe something... Ooh, yeah, that could be good. Maybe something like that. Or maybe something like this. Go for the really dramatic, like, finance YouTube video, like, oh my god, the entire stock market just went down 5%. Thankfully, that doesn't pertain to me because all of my investments are in alcohol. I don't invest in anything else. I don't invest in the stock market. S&P 500, what's that? I don't even know what the S&P 500 is. Actually, I do. It's an amalgamation of stocks on the New York stock market, and it's like the top 500 stocks or something like that. NASDAQ, what even is that? I don't know. NASDAQ, more like AFQUAC. Took me a minute. But what's the best thumbnail I could get? I'm just trying to think. I got to make sure I get a good ROI, of course. I feel like that could work pretty well. Maybe something like that, and then I'll put like dollar signs above it with ROI or something like that. I'm not sure. I'll have to put some thought into the thumbnail of this video, as I do want to make sure that I get a good ROI from this video today. You know, I'm investing a little bit of liquor into this video, into this drinking experience. I'm investing a little bit of time into this drinking experience as well. So I want to make sure that I get a good ROI. I want to make sure that my ROI is not just 100%. I want it to be like 5,000%. I want to invest at 2 cents and cash out at $5 million. That's what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I want to feel like somebody buying Bitcoin in 2009 and selling in 2024. That's what I'm saying, baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, my first 2 drinks, gotta admit, I thoroughly enjoyed them. Have I felt like I've min-maxed my experience so far with this drinking experience? I'd have to say I certainly do feel like I have. My first 2 drinks were great, but I'm gonna have some more. Not only because I want more alcohol, because I do want more alcohol, because more alcohol leads to possibly a higher ROI, although you do kind of have like depreciating returns on investment at some times with drinking kind of thing. But today I'm not feeling like that's the case. I think I'm gonna have increasing return on investment during this video today, because if I make a longer video, that means there's more ad time for ads to play during this video, which means more money from ads, which means more ROI. So if I have more drinks during this video today, I'm going to have more return on investment from this video. Am I just using that as an excuse to have more alcohol? Yes, I am. But I also love money. I love money so much. Money is great. Money is fantastic. Like, honestly, one of my childhood icons is actually Scrooge McDuck. Like genuinely, that's not a joke. Scrooge McDuck is genuinely one of my childhood icons. I absolutely love Scrooge McDuck. Like, bro, I want a money pit that I can dive into without breaking all of my legs and arms. Like, I just want to swim through money like I'm Scrooge McDuck. Scrooge McDuck is the GOAT, bro. Absolutely goated character. Love Scrooge McDuck. And I gotta admit, this is definitely making my ROI a little bit better. It's making my ROI go up just a little bit more so than not. Certainly no complaints on my behalf, that is for sure. Excuse me. I think I may have to have another one to increase my ROI even more in a few minutes. Man. Let's get back to drinking. That is nice. The lemon flavor coming from the carbonated water, the little bit of bourbon whiskey, the buzz. It's all hitting. Man, oh man. I really do feel like I am getting a great ROI from this experience today. And honestly, thinking about like how to get the best ROI from a pint of whiskey and thinking about how to just simply min-max my ROI from alcohol in general has really led to me just thinking about how to min-max my ROI in every aspect of my life, frankly put. Like when it comes to clothing, if you want to min-max your ROI, you want to buy clothing that you're going to wear all the time, frankly put. If you buy a $100 shirt or something like that kind of thing, or a $100 pair of pants, but you only wear them one time, your return on investment is zero because you've only worn them one time. You bought a $100 pair of pants or shirt and you only wore it one time, that's $100 for that wear. But if you instead buy a $100 shirt or pair of pants and you wear it 100 times, your ROI is exponentially higher because per wear, it's only costing you $1. As such, I've really been thinking, like, in my head about how to, like, get it the best ROI on every product I buy. What product will I buy that will give me the best return on investment? And honestly, thinking about this has made me want to get a Costco membership because Costco memberships allow you to buy bulk products kind of thing that are cheaper than they might otherwise be if you were buying them at Walmart or if you were buying them at Kroger or something like that kind of thing. You can get a really good ROI from the items you buy at Costco just simply because they're bulk items that are really cheap. And so you can get like a whole like mega pack of lean cuisine meals, and rather than paying like $3 for one pack, you're paying $30 for 20 packs. That's half the price. That's $1.50 per meal, and you've just got that much more of an ROI. Thinking about ROI in just everyday like items is something that honestly, genuinely, I actually really do that. I actually really do that like all the time kind of thing. Like if I'm looking at like a shirt or like a piece of clothing or a watch or something like that, I think about, okay, how much am I realistically going to wear this? If I'm going to wear it just like a couple times a year, it's not really worth buying kind of thing because I'm only going to wear it a couple times a year. My ROI is going to be really low. But if it's something that I only wear a couple times a year, but it'll last me for the rest of my life, that could be a different story. But if an item is something that I'm going to wear all the time for my entire life, that's an insanely good ROI. And that's one of the reasons why I love Buy It for Life products. Of course, alcohol is not a Buy It for Life product. It is a consumable product. But there are so many different products out there that could very well last you for your entire life. And you could very well get an insanely good ROI, I will acknowledge. If you're looking at patio furniture, you want patio furniture that you're not only going to use all the time and is going to be comfortable to sit in, but is also patio furniture that you're going to, be able to use for long times in the future, for a long time into the future kind of thing as well kind of thing. You don't want patio furniture that is going to rot after a single winter or something like that kind of thing. You want patio furniture that is going to last you for the rest of your life. Even if you only sit in that patio furniture for 2 times a year, if you buy that patio furniture at 25 years old, the average age of death for an American right now is like what? 70 years old kind of thing. If you buy that at 25, 70 minus 25, that's like 55. So you've got like 45 years. So even if you only sit in that furniture for 2 times a year and for over the course of like 45 years kind of thing, you're looking at like let's say 2 or 3 times a year you spend. Nah, actually that's not really good ROI. You need to make sure you sit in your patio furniture more than just 2 or 3 times a year. But basically what I'm saying is that you want to make sure you get good ROI on everything that you buy. Your clothing, your patio furniture, where you live kind of thing. You want good ROI no matter what. I might not be a finance guru. I am not a licensed financial advisor. But what I can say is that don't invest in items that you're not going to get a good ROI in kind of thing. If you're going to invest in an item and you're only going to use it once, why buy that item at all? Because you're not going to get a good ROI kind of thing. I don't know. That's just kind of my personal take. I will acknowledge. But maybe that's just me. I like getting a good ROI on my items, and I like making sure that I enjoy all of the items I buy to the fullest extent. I want to make sure my investment is a good one. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. excuse me. Some notable items that I have found to be really good ROI. Of course, liquor. Of course, snacks. Other items though, besides those two, general clothing. General clothing, depending on the piece of clothing, I have found to be really good ROI. Backpacks as well. I use a backpack just about every single day. So having a good backpack really is best for your ROI kind of thing. Because if you have a good backpack that you really enjoy wearing and you use it all the time kind of thing, you're going to get a good ROI from that backpack. Same with socks as well. I am personally willing to invest in good socks and good shoes because I know I'm going to wear those shoes all the time and I know I'm going to wear those socks all the time, and I want to make sure that my feet stay comfortable. I want to make sure that they feel good all the time. If my feet aren't comfortable, it might start causing foot pain and stuff like that kind of thing, and then that's going to decrease my enjoyment of life, which is going to decrease my ROI on those shoes. So by investing in a good shoe that I know I'm going to buy all the time, and by investing in good socks that I know I'm going to enjoy and that I know I'm going to wear all the time, I really do find just my enjoyment of life is better, and my return on investment of those shoes and of those socks is really just better as well. Same can be said about mattresses. A good mattress can really make the difference between a good sleep and a bad sleep, in my personal opinion. And even if you are sleeping on that mattress all the time, and technically speaking you have a good ROI because you spent $200 on a mattress rather than $250 on a mattress kind of thing, if you have bad sleep on that mattress, even if you sleep on it all the time kind of thing, are you really having good ROI if you're not enjoying that sleep kind of thing? Sleep is something we have to do. We might as well enjoy it, right? Return on investment isn't just about how much you use something or how much you wear something. It's about how much enjoyment you get from that item. At least not in finance terms. Because in finance terms, if we're just thinking like stock market and stuff like that kind of thing, it's purely statistical, financial, monetary statistics and all that sort of fun stuff. But if we're thinking not money, if we're thinking actual items you use every day, your ROI is not just determined by how many times you use it, it's determined by how much you enjoy it. And how much you enjoy something, a lot of times, dictates how much you use it. I don't know, just kind of my personal take, Yes, sir, yes, sir. I might not be a finance guru, but I love having a good ROI on all of my different items. Whether it be alcohol, whether it be snacks, whether it be clothing, whether it be the shoes I wear, I want a good ROI. That's what I'm saying. And I do suppose it's pretty much exactly the same thing I said at the very beginning of this video. When I said that the best way to make sure you get a good ROI from your pint of whiskey, from your alcohol, is to simply put, just enjoy it to the fullest extent. That's absolutely right. That's absolutely true. And that can be applied to so many more things than just alcohol. It can be applied to just about everything, frankly put. That's what I'm saying, at least. I think one of the most pertinent forms of bad ROI these days is DoorDash and Uber Eats. I'm going to say it. I think DoorDash and Uber Eats is, no matter what you do, bad ROI. No matter what you do, DoorDash and Uber Eats is bad ROI. Frankly put, it is a bad return on investment because you're paying like double what you would be actually paying for the meal if you went to that place, kind of thing. And you're getting less enjoyment out of it because by the time it gets to you, it's cold. If you buy, a hot burrito from Chipotle and you get it DoorDash to your door, it's not going to be hot anymore by the time it arrives to you. That's just bad ROI, not only from a financial sense, but also from an enjoyment sense. Uber Eats and DoorDash, I don't like them. I don't like them. I refuse to use Uber Eats and DoorDash. The only scenario that Uber Eats and DoorDash is good in is if you're like drunk at home, you have no food in your refrigerator and you need food, but you don't want to drive because that's unsafe to do. Do not drink and drive kind of thing. That is the only good scenario for Uber Eats and DoorDash. Literally every other scenario other than that, except for the fact that you're inebriated kind of thing. If you're inebriated and you have no food at home, that's one thing. That is the one scenario I would use Uber Eats and DoorDash in. But in every other scenario, Uber Eats and DoorDash is a horrible idea. And I don't like Uber Eats or DoorDash. Just horrible ROI, frankly put. Horrible return on investment, in all honesty. I'm not going to say that eating out in general is bad ROI, though. It's just specifically Uber Eats and DoorDash. Because while I do believe that, generally speaking, when looked at things on an average, cooking at home is better ROI than eating out when looked at from a monetary sense. If you don't enjoy cooking, though, you don't enjoy cooking. Personally, I enjoy cooking, so I find the ROI I get from cooking meals for myself to be really high, to be really positive. But if you don't enjoy cooking, well, that's a different story, of course, then. And there are definitely some recipes out there that, frankly put, you are actually just going to get a better ROI from eating out than from eating at home kind of thing. There's some dishes where it's really just cheaper to go to the restaurant because they're buying everything in bulk rather than actually just getting it at the store for like one thing kind of thing. There really are some circumstances where the return on investment, the ROI for eating out is really better than cooking at home. The average, in my opinion, the general rule of thumb is that cooking is better ROI than eating out, but it's not always the case. It's not always the case. But thinking about ROI in terms of everything in my life, unironically, actually has helped me so much. Like, I'm making this video because I thought it would be funny to talk about like min-maxing like ROI on a pint of whiskey and stuff like that kind of thing. Like, I just thought it'd be really funny to make this video because of that, because it's like I'm talking about like alcohol in like finance terms and stuff like that, and like putting min-max ROI in the same title as like a video where I'm just drinking alcohol. I thought that would just be a hilarious thing to do, and that's why I'm making this video today. But like, genuinely thinking about everything that I purchase in an ROI setting, on like a return on investment setting kind of thing, whether it be clothing or anything else, really has helped me so much with just thinking about, okay, what do I actually want to buy? Like, there's definitely items out there that I'm like, man, I'd love to own that. I want that. But like, I'm just going to use it like once or twice, and I know that. And so it's like, why would I buy that when in actuality for those two uses, I'm going to be spending X amount of money and I'm really not going to have very good ROI? This whole thought process for me really has helped me just go, all right, yeah, if I'm not using something on a regular basis, why would I buy it kind of thing? I don't know, maybe it's just me. But of course, there's things that you want to buy for just pure enjoyment as well kind of thing. There's things that you might not use all the time or see all the time that you want to buy just for pure enjoyment. So of course, the whole ROI thought process that I have is not something that can be applied to everything. So my phone storage just filled up. That's how we know I'm getting really good ROI on my phone storage. I paid extra for a little bit extra phone storage when I bought my phone like 3 years ago. And by filling up my phone storage mid-video, I know that I am getting really good ROI on my phone storage. I'm using it to the fullest degree, and I'm getting insanely good return on investment on my phone storage. But yes, my phone storage did just fill up. But I can't remember what I was talking about, honestly. What was I saying before my phone storage filled up? I had to delete a couple videos and it took me a second, so I've kind of forgotten what I was talking about. But yeah, really, I mean, like, I really do feel like ROI, it's a good, like, general, like, rule of thumb kind of thing, but it's not something to, like, think about, like, all the time kind of thing. Like, there are definitely things where maybe the enjoyment factor and rather than the use factor really does outweigh the ROI, but that's just another way to look at ROI in general kind of thing, I will acknowledge. But yeah, thinking about everything as return on investment really has just helped me so much, and it's something that honestly I cannot recommend enough. It really is just a big ball of move if I do say so myself. No complaints on my behalf, not at all, not at all. Overall, I'm enjoying myself today. I feel like I'm getting really good ROI from my pint of whiskey I have with me today, and I feel like I'm having just a fantastic time as a whole. So frankly put, absolutely no complaints on my behalf. I love getting good ROI from just about everything, and I am certainly getting good ROI from this experience today. No complaints on my behalf. I want another one of these, though, so I'm going to have another one of these because I want another one of these. I love getting good ROI, not only from my stock options, but also from my alcohol. That's what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I'm buzzed. I'm slightly buzzed right now. Good ROI really is just so important, though. It really is. It's not to be underestimated. Yeah. It's kind of my personal take. Excuse me. I'm putting the camera down just for a minute, probably for the rest of the video, honestly, because I just want to sit back and relax. I am quite buzzed. Man, my ROI from this drinking experience really is quite good, if I do say so myself. I'm experiencing a fantastic ROI right now. Frankly put, no complaints on my behalf. None at all. None at all. I'm gonna go and finish off my drink, though. And I'm gonna pour myself a little bit more because I want a little bit more, so I might as well have a little bit more. Might as well, right? What am I doing after this video today? I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna make myself some rice. Honestly, my most used kitchen utensil ever, besides like the stove and the oven and the refrigerator and the microwave, is my rice maker. Like, my rice maker was a gift, but if I had bought it myself, it would have been insanely good ROI. And I think after this video today, I'm gonna be making some rice because I want some rice. I love my rice, and I buy, no joke, like 20-pound bags of rice. I actually do. I want to make sure I get really good ROI from my rice purchase, and buying rice in bulk leads to a better ROI, and I eat a good amount of rice. I love my rice. And I always want to make sure I get good ROI from my rice experiences, from my rice eating experiences, and from my rice making experiences. So I always make sure that I buy a very large bottle of rice to make sure that I get a very good ROI from my rice, I will acknowledge. It's always good to buy a good big bag of rice. Gotta buy a big bag of rice to get a better ROI from my rice purchase. But yeah, my rice maker was a well worthwhile purchase. Fantastic. And I haven't even used it to like the fullest extent. I just used it to make rice, but you can make like cakes in it. You can make rice porridge in it. You can make just about anything in it, honestly, if you really want to. Rice makers, for me at least, because I eat a ton of rice, getting a good rice maker has been insanely good ROI kind of thing. Like, it was a gift, as said, so my ROI is just no matter what in the positive. But if I had bought it myself, I have faith that I would be down to like $1 per use, like probably right now kind of thing. Like I'd probably be at like $1 per use. And like when thought about from like if I didn't have a rice maker and I was buying, like, let's say, like, microwave rice, like, I have already just, like, made a profit kind of thing. Like, my ROI for my rice maker is, like, through the roof. And, genuinely, if y'all make a good amount of rice kind of thing, a good rice maker is something that I cannot recommend enough kind of thing. Like, I have used bad rice makers before, like rice makers that always make, like, soggy yet at the same time burnt rice. I don't know how the hell they do it. But there are some rice makers that do that, and I've used one of them before. But getting a good rice maker just makes the entire rice experience so much easier, so much nicer. I love my Zarishi rice maker. Banger. It's such a banger rice maker. And if something happened to it, I would buy myself another one in a heartbeat, because my ROI on that rice maker, even if I had bought it myself, even if it wasn't a gift, would be insane, frankly put. And still, it is insane even if I had bought it myself. Or it would be insane if I had bought it myself, yeah. I'm slightly buzzed. But I love good return on investment. Let me know in the comments below, what is the best stock for ROI right now? Yeah. I don't know. Something off of Wall Street bets that's going to be a pumping up, frankly put. Probably. Probably that, yeah. Probably. I am honestly very buzzed, though. I can definitely say my ROI on this drinking experience today has been insanely good. My ROI from this experience in general is crazy good. Excuse me. I have thoroughly enjoyed myself, and I can definitely say, without a doubt, I have gotten a very, very, very good ROI from this drinking experience today. No question in my mind. I have gotten a very good ROI from this experience today. So I am very satisfied with this experience. I'm very satisfied with the ROI I've gotten from this experience, and I'm very happy. I'm very happy to have had this experience today and to have talked about how to get the best min-maxed ROI from a pint of whiskey kind of thing, and to have demonstrated doing so during this video today. That was a little bit warm, but ain't gonna stop me from taking another bite. Just about done with my last drink, though. I think this is really all I want. I'm feeling pretty dang buzzed. Ain't no need for no more alcohol, any more alcohol after that, and it's just going to be a depreciating ROI. So I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to make sure that I have a great rest of my day. Let's finish off my drink, and let's finish off the video, y'all. Cheers, y'all. Cheers, y'all. That's what I'm saying. Well, I think that's just about all I had to say for this video today. Have I talked about how to min-max your ROI, your return on investment from a bottle, from a pint, from a case of alcohol, of whiskey, of liquor? So I have. Certainly no complaints on my behalf, that is for sure. And I've had a great time. And I hope you guys have had a great time watching. This has been a very fun video to make, and I hope you guys have enjoyed watching it. If you guys have enjoyed watching this video, of course, like and subscribe. Check out everything in the description down below. And until the next one, y'all, stay safe and peace, and have a great one. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.